All right, we're going to be working on this really cool geometry nodes effect. We are still using these new these new volume SDF Grid nodes. I'm really fascinated by them. I will probably keep making videos with them. There's a lot of, there's just so many cool things you can do with it. We are going to be making, again, we're going to be making this effect today in this particular video. I'm going to show you how to make the basic effect, how to build it. I'll show you how to combine textures to get different shapes and get this kind of split effect where they're kind of touching, but they're kind of slotting in. I don't know how to describe it. We're going to add materials, and along the way, I'll show you how to animate it as well. If you're pretty proficient, you animate it with the W, but I'll show you how to do that and different issues you're going to have with materials and different issues you'll have with the geometry itself. So hopefully by the end of this, you can take this and make really cool things with it on your own. I dug a little deeper on this effect on Patreon, spent a little bit more time and showed some really cool things you can do with it, some really cool materials, some cool shapes, showed you how to use extra models. A lot of really cool things. So I dug a little deeper on Patreon. If you want to check that out right now, I'm running my Black Friday sale. You can get 25% off an annual membership on Patreon now through November 30. So if you want to check that out, there is so much stuff on Patreon that I've put on this year, a ton of stuff I put on there last year. You can get it all. And also my courses and real-time materials are 50% off on Superhive. All that is linked in the description if you want to check that out. So let's learn how to make this effect. All right, this is a Blender 5.0 thing. The effect, the visual side of the effect isn't technically new. It's just way easier and lighter on your computer now with these new volume nodes. So how do you make the basic effect? I'm gonna throw in a plane into this scene and make a new window, switch him over to geometry nodes. We're gonna click new, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just gonna use an icosphere for this. You can plug anything into this. You can use Suzanne, your own model. My favorite application of this is logos. You can make these growth effects. It's really cool what you can do with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in here. I'm gonna bring up a radius of 2 and a subdivision of 6. Radius is less important, subdivision, very important. If you want mine to look exactly like yours, definitely subdivide to 6, and I guess size it to 2 as well. What we need to do is turn this to a mesh to density grid. That's going to convert it to a grid. And then we need to convert it back grid to mesh. And that is going to bring it back to renderable, readable geometry. So we essentially just remeshed this thing. Voxel size, the lower the number, or sliding it to the left, that is going to make it more high poly. We need to now get a voxelized grid node. And then right here, right before the grid to mesh, we can start using textures to eat into this shape. So we need to get a math node, plug that there, switch it to subtract. I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this guy, switch it to multiply, plug that here, and now we can feed textures into this math node. So I'm first going to get a color ramp so we can kind of edit this texture, and I'm using Voronoi. You can use any texture you want. Distance or color, both of them are going to yield really interesting results. And then all of these, everything, it's just we're able to visualize texture in a really cool 3D space. That's at the core of this is what is happening. I'm going to switch this to 4D so we can animate the texture, and I'm going to plug distance right into here. You'll notice a change. If you bring that value higher, it'll allow you to eat into that texture. So I'm just going to give the multiply a value of 2, and I'll scale my texture up so that we can start to see this Voronoi texture in 3D space. It's really awesome. And then with any texture, if you want to animate it, if it allows you to switch it to 4D, you can animate the texture. And also, if you flip the color ramp, you are inverting this texture, and now you're getting the other side of this effect. So I'm gonna flip my color ramp back, and you can do this. Like I mentioned, if you use a logo on this, you can play with the color ramp and do like an interesting logo reveal with texture. It's, again, I'm in love with this. Now there's a few things we need to do to make this geometry look cleaner before we start having more fun with it by adding materials and lighting. So first, like always, we need a shade smooth node, but we need 2 nodes to really clean up the geometry and make it look presentable. So first, a smooth geometry node, plug that there, and the higher the iterations, the smoother it's going to be. I'm gonna give iterations of 10 for now, just to clean up some of the problems, and we can make it higher as we start customizing textures. And then if we're going to animate it, you're going to have some issues with the normal. So we need to get a set mesh normal, switch it to free. We need to get a blur attribute. Well, essentially, we're building this, but for the normal. And then we need to get a normal node. I'm going to switch this over to vector, normal into value, value into custom normal, and say give it iterations of like 10. And that's just going to clean it up so it's as close to perfect geometry as we are going to get. And then we can just play with the W, and now we have something really nice. And then the lower that voxel, the higher poly, smoother it's going to be, and we have something really cool. So what we can do now is right after the grid to mesh, I'm going to get a join geometry, and then I'm going to switch my Voronoi texture from F1 to distance to edge. What that's going to do is when I bring it in the texture, it's going to give us this really interesting, back in the day we called it crackle. It's an interesting crackle effect. And then I'm going to bring my smooth geometry up to like 30. And so now we're going to get this interesting look, and it looks awesome. And then I'm bringing that value up a little bit more as well, but that just looks super crazy. So now we'll have this. Now what I want to do is fill in the gaps here. So the way you fill in the gap of any texture, we have this join geometry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight everything before it, I'm gonna duplicate it, and then there's a few redundant nodes. So the Voronoi texture, plug that into the color ramp and delete it. And then the icosphere, plug that into the, just replace this guy. And then I'm gonna get a value node because I wanna control the voxel size on both of them at the same time. So I'm just gonna type in 0.04, plug that in. And the reason why I typed in 0.04 is because that's what it's set to now. So you don't have to copy that if you don't want to. And so now when I change the voxel size, it changes it on both that we're about to do. So go ahead and plug the grid to mesh node into the join geometry. And then take your color ramp, and I'm gonna actually bring my voxel size back to 0.04 and then bring this in. And then go ahead and flip your color ramp and do one of these, and it is going to fill in the holes of your texture. And then you can just bring this up a little bit. It's going to smooth it out as well. And now we have a really, it looks pretty gross, I'll admit, but this really interesting crackle, like we used to call it, effect in Blender. And then you can kind of bring this up to fill it up like that. And then as we bring the voxel size more subdivided, you're going to get a really, really cool effect, and you can add this to anything. But now you have two independent objects. I'm just going to highlight these guys, hit G and bring it down. And of course, if you play with the W, that is going to change the texture. Now we can add different materials to this if we want to. So you can go over here to the material section. I'm going to bring my voxel size back to 0.04, so this is, we can handle this a little easier. We're going to get two materials. One will do a nice shiny metallic material, and then another one will do a glass material. Bring up the transmission, bring the roughness down, and then right by the join geometry, we'll get two set material nodes. Make this one metal, make this one glass, and then maybe bring the roughness down on the glass. And now you have a really, really cool looking thing. And if you bring that texture size, say it's right now at scale 1 point, we'll do maybe 0.8, it is going to change it and make it look really, really cool. Or say we don't want it to be transmission, we can maybe make it subsurface and then bring up the scale and then say, make it a slightly different color. Now we have that. Maybe bring up the roughness. Now it looks kind of squishy and weird, but you can do anything you want with it. And then again, the higher you make that voxel size value, the sharper and more high poly and better it's going to look. A couple cautions on adding materials to this. If you animate it with the W and you're adding, say, like a noise texture for roughness or, you know, noise texture for color of the material, as that volume shape moves, so will the texture, because this does not have UVs. It will not stay locked in place. It won't look that great. This effect is really nice as a still, as like a still object, or if you do want to animate it, do it like here where the metal doesn't have a texture, the subsurface doesn't have a texture, or the glass. When you animate this with like a textureless metal and like a glass, it looks really cool. So even though you're limited by texture, limited by material, some of the materials will still look really cool if you work with the issues that you're going to have. Now you'll notice kind of weirdness like this, that can be remedied to our best ability by the smooth geometry node. I just gave it a value of 200. It smoothed it out. It wasn't perfect, but the higher that value, the more smooth it's going to be, the better it's going to look. So that's the basic effect I wanted to show. I just think it's really cool and really fun to play with. And if you're new to these volume nodes, this is a great way to get comfortable with them. I'm still getting comfortable with them. And so this is almost like my log of everything I'm learning new. So there's more things to show. Again, I went deeper on this on Patreon. You can get an annual membership for 25% off right now through the 30th. And again, all my courses and real-time materials is 50% off until the end of the month. So if you want to check all that out, link in the description. I hope you learned something. Hope you think this is as cool as I think it is. And I'll see you in the next one.